This week, Official D&D previewed the new Player's Handbook. I asked my viewers, do you really want me to make a video about this? And 60% of you said yes. So here we are, and this is happening today on Dungeon Craft.
Deathbringer here. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and sign up for the Deathbringer RPG newsletter below.
Welcome to Dungeon Craft. This channel is about homebrew, do-it-yourself D&D, and if you want to join my homebrew crew, you should like, subscribe, click the bell, click all so you get all our videos as soon as we upload them. And as always, thanks to the patrons on Patreon for making this content possible. Patrons get access to my GM's notebook, an exclusive Discord server, bonus video content. What type of video content? What am I working on? I'm not going to tell you quite yet. I'm going to show you some footage at the end of this video, but patrons get all that stuff early. So Wizards released a bunch of videos, actually. There are several on martial classes. The main video is about an hour long, and I'm going to try to reduce it to about 2 minutes. There are 48 classes and subclasses, 400 spells, 75 feats, crafting rules, weapon mastery rules, and loads of options. How many options?
New options, returning options, subclass options, character options, equipment options, mastery option, tactical options.
So weapon mastery is the biggest, so let's do that one first. All weapons have weapon mastery properties, and these allow you to do different things. If you have weapon mastery in that particular weapon, you can unlock them. A dagger's property is called Nick. It allows you to make an attack with a dagger without losing your bonus action, so you can kind of stab people and run away. Graze. You're so good at this weapon, you score minor damage even if the weapon misses. You got a battle axe, which you can use to push and topple and knock someone over. Cleave, which allows you to make a second attack on a different target if you made your first attack successfully. And honestly, some of these sound pretty cool. I particularly love Cleave. I've loved it since the 3rd edition, and I think it should just come standard with fighters because it's so much fun. The big rules change is Heroic Inspiration. You get to use your inspiration and affect that die roll after you made the die roll, which I think is cool. Like in old days of inspiration, you had to state, I want to use inspiration on this roll before you knew what you rolled. And that led to a lot of, should I use it or should I not use it? And while I'm waiting for my friends to make their decision, precious moments of my life are ticking away. Now you just roll the dice and you can apply it after the fact, and I think that's better. It's a lot like my Deathbringer dice idea. In my own game Deathbringer, I have this mechanic where you have this pool of D6s, Deathbringer dice, and you can use them to add to your failed rolls, make them a success, add to damage, absorb damage, and it's really versatile. So I like the new inspiration rules. Healing potions can now be downed as a bonus action. I'm not a big fan of that rule, even though everybody likes it. That certainly comes from Baldur's Gate. Now they're making it standard. I always think it's ridiculous because I have martial arts training, and if you go into a cage match or mixed martial arts and you're fighting someone, they are not going to allow you to drink an ounce of liquid. And if you give them knives, it's even worse. That's what a medieval battle is. It's a fight with knives and axes, and somebody's trying to hack off your limbs. And that's why I think the Player's Handbook should have it inscribed on the inside cover that if the Game Master disagrees with any of these rules, they can overrule them, no questions asked, because they are the Game Master. Subclasses. Barbarians, Druids, and Bards are getting new subclasses. I remember when a Druid was a subclass of a Cleric. Now we're getting a new subclass, which makes it a sub-subclass. I don't know if we really need that many subclasses, but people seem to really love them. Feats, there are 3 different types of feats. We got Origin Feats, Epic Feats, and Feats. Origin Feats you get because of your background. Epic Feats you get at level 19, which means almost no one's going to ever use them. And Feats are just your regular feats. Races are now called Ancestries, but Ancestries don't give you ability score increases. Your background gives you your ability score increase and 1 feat. So now everyone is essentially a variant human. But it's the differences, of which there are none, that will make your character exceptional. And now, a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by the Tomb of Guys and Gax, from Luke Guy Gax and Alphinius Goo of Gooey Cube. Tomb of Guys and Gax is a campaign setting and a mega adventure homage to Gary Gygax, the creator of Dungeons and Dragons and the founder of our hobby, and a fantastic roster of creators including Peter Atkinson, Mike Carr, Larry Elmore, Ed Greenwood, Tim Kask, and me, Professor Dungeon Master. And if you hate me, There's a stat block, you can kill me. Look at how much stuff is in this box. Enough adventure materials for months of campaigning. Monsters, treasures, encounters, balanced stat blocks. What a great way to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons. But late pledges are only going to be accepted for a couple of weeks, so act now. From a marketing perspective, I think this is brilliant. It's what the players clearly want. They want tons of feats, tons of option, and this is just giving them more. Now, personally, I don't need this many options. Do I really need 400 spells? My players only probably use 10 spells. They probably only use 5 to 10 feats. In terms of selling, this is excellent. It's like, why do people think all-you-can-eat buffets are a tremendous value? Because you get to eat a lot, and there's this sheer variety of things you can eat. Now, am I going to eat the ambrosia salad? No, but it's there. Some of the art is good. I love this dwarf. I love this piece with the 80s cartoon characters as adults, and presto, the wizard is looking at this stone unicorn and remembering Uni. Remember Uni? But Uni is nowhere in this picture, and that means Uni the unicorn is dead. That is so grimdark. I love it. It strikes me that this edition is really into granularity. Granularity is when you take a game mechanic and you break it into a smaller mechanic. Examples include group initiative was replaced by individual initiative. Actions, now we have second actions and bonus actions. Weapons don't just do damage, they do bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, and now they have mastery elements. The problem with granularity is it makes the game slower. It always does 100% of the time. Anytime you add details to the mechanics, it slows the experience down. Some people are willing to make that trade-off, like the Rollmaster crowd with their critical hits. They just love those critical hits, and you can't take them. And it's the same with D&D enthusiasts and all their different feats and all these different types of damage and all the synergies with how they work. Personally, I prefer a faster, smoother game where you get more playtime and where the turns are shorter. I don't want to wait 10 minutes to take my turn. The other problem with granularity is it makes digital tools absolutely necessary. In OSR retro clones and modern D&D derivations like Index Card RPG, Shadowdark, Knave, and Deathbringer, I can make an analog character in about 60 seconds. I've met younger 5e players who don't know how to create a character without a digital tool. D&D Beyond's own advertising reads, "Character creation can take forever. D&D Beyond's free character builder makes it quick and easy." Well, whose fault is it takes forever? The corporation wants it to take forever so they can sell you digital tools, which are free for now. But don't kid yourself. This is just the first step toward a monthly subscription. Options also narrow your thinking. It's like putting blinders on a horse, and players think that they can only do what is on their character sheet. And you see this all the time manifesting like this. One player thinks, we ought to talk to that guard, and this is what we should say, but I have a -1 charisma and you have +4, so you should do all the talking and rolling. Like, that's an example of, like, I can't do that because it's not on my character sheet, or I'm not optimized for that thing. At one point in the video, they're talking about how barbarians now have access to feats other than martial feats, so they can focus on the social aspects of the game. And it's like, why couldn't they do that before? You just go up to an NPC and talk to them. It's that thinking, like, if it's not on my character sheet, if I don't have some sort of skill or feat related to charisma, I cannot intimidate someone. I cannot talk to someone. With your great axe, you can push someone back, and that's cool. But what if a character doesn't have weapon mastery? Can they still push someone with an axe? Because a lot of players are going to be like, well, you don't have weapon mastery, so you can't push anyone with an axe. Only weapon masters with axe mastery can do that. And that's a fundamental difference between OSR games and their players' type of thinking and more modern players and their type of thinking. It's what I call the Cheesecake Factory menu of options. It's like you go into a restaurant, and one restaurant, the chef says, I'll make you whatever you want. Whereas the cheesecake menu gives you all these options and a convenient menu, and then you just have to flip through it, and it takes a long time. But the first restaurant, the chef is saying, you can have anything you want. I will make you whatever. And that's the way I like games to be. I like everybody to be able to swing from a chandelier. I like everybody to be able to push and shove someone. We don't need a rule for that. You could just say, I want to shove that ogre in the pit of green slime. Okay, roll a 16. I think this player's handbook will sell very well. It's doing what its audience wants. I'm not sure if it's going to do it for me, but that's what I think. What do you think? Share in the comments below. And stay tuned for my sneak preview. I'll see you soon. May all your rolls be 20s.
Ah, Uni the unicorn. Alas, I knew him well.
You killed him, didn't you?
I did. Powdered unicorn horns the primary ingredient in potions of healing. You're all guilty. Now watch this preview.
Somewhere under a foreboding hill lies the crypt of the demi-lich Acererak. Legends say Acererak amassed a fortune in gold, gems, jewels, and magic items. But his heart was so filled with greed and malice, he designed his tomb as a death trap for those brave or foolish enough to enter. Over the centuries, thousands of heroes have entered the tomb, but only a handful have emerged. Lured by rumors of fabulous wealth, you have traveled to the Skull Mound, and that is where your adventure begins.